Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 milliamp hour power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome back to the Tube Tribune. I'm your host today, diving into a rather uncomfortable conversation about the world of adult entertainment and one woman who's making headlines with her unconventional approach. In a recent documentary, Bonnie Blue, 1000 Men and Me, we're given a glimpse into the life of Bonnie Blue, a platinum blonde, bright white veneers flashing sex worker who's raking it in nearly £2 million a month, to be exact. The film follows her through the planning and execution of a filmed gangbang involving over 1,000 men, which is where the documentary gets really interesting. What sounds animalistic on paper turns out to be surprisingly procedural. ID checks, condom stations, disinfectant bottles, and even a clipboard-wielding queue manager. Director Victoria Silver has made documentaries about artists and musicians before, but she's never included graphic footage in her films until now. She points out that when it comes to artists' work, they're always showcased, so why make an exception for Bonnie? So what drives Bonnie? Well, she wants to prove she's not traumatized. In fact, she believes she comes from a beautiful family and genuinely loves her life. But does that sound like a typical sex worker's story to you? For one thing, Bonnie is refreshingly honest about why she got into this line of work. It's a lucrative business, and she wants to prove that having fun with your brain isn't necessarily something women are supposed to be good at. We see her discussing sex in clinical terms. My brain works different. I'm just not emotional. It's hard not to draw comparisons between Bonnie's attitude towards sex and athletes who push their bodies. We glorify the former but recoil from the latter. Bonnie even compares her gangbang experience to a marathon, which is quite an interesting take on a normally grim concept. The documentary raises some important questions about consent, vulnerability, and the double standard that lets men treat sex as casual while branding women immoral for doing the same. We can't help but wonder why this behavior gets rewarded. Bonnie has a candid conversation with psychotherapist Lucy Beresford about how we process our experiences, how framing them determines their impact on our mental health, and whether she's avoiding trauma or merely pushing boundaries. She isn't afraid to say it out loud. Bonnie is a businesswoman first. When asked if she considers herself an artist, she declines the label, instead saying that her success came from understanding exactly what she was doing and who she was selling to rather than creating something meaningful for its own sake. Her worldview isn't especially humane, but it's aligned with our algorithm-driven culture where extremity outperforms nuance. It's clear Bonnie is very good at the business side of things. When a teenager's mother tried to drag him out of the gangbang queue, she simply offered him a private session and sold the story to tabloids. However, there are criticisms of her work. Some creators, mostly in their teens or early 20s, were drawn into the scene without being aware of what they were getting themselves into. Bonnie does explain consent before scenes, lays out schedules, and encourages open communication. But it's a trade-off that worries many experts. Who is she to tell these young women how to live their lives? Lucy Beresford warns us about the impact that porn can have on our perceptions of sex, as well as our own desires. It's clear Bonnie sees her business as part of this issue, saying it's okay to want sex and even embracing her power over her customers. But what does this mean for the future? By the end of the documentary, Bonnie is alone with daily death threats. Fair play to them, she shrugs. It's a bleak joke, but also quite telling. Bonnie has developed an emotional armor that keeps people from getting too close. Ultimately, the Tube Tribune sees Bonnie Blue as a mirror held up by our society, uncomfortable and provocative, but necessary for some of us to face the truth about how we live our lives, how we treat sex, and what we consider sexy.